Okay, my name is Nia. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, then let me introduce myself. If you're not new, you know that I am a single mom of one daughter. She's 7 and she's everything to me. She's in a few of my videos. I'll put some up here that she's in that you can see. I try not to post her too much just because, you know, the internet's a crazy place, but she is a huge part of my life and this channel is about my life, so she is in this here and there. So you will see her. But for today's video, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my journey as a mom and as a single mom and just my story. I don't think I've really ever talked about it in depth here. So I also just wanted to talk about or like relate to anyone out there who may be in a similar situation to me, you know, other single moms out there, young moms out there, and how that experience has been for me. Maybe we can connect over that and talk about it together. A little bit about me. I was 20 years old. I had just turned 20 when I got pregnant with my daughter. I was in college at the time. I was a dance major at a university and I was getting my degree in dance education, basically. My bachelor's in science for dance pedagogy, to be a dance teacher. That was like always my dream. I always wanted to be a teacher growing up, and when I was a gymnast, I wanted to be a gymnastics coach. When I started dancing, I was like, no, I want to be a dance teacher. Like I just always knew I wanted to be a coach or a teacher of some sort. So I started going to school for that specifically, and college was rough because I didn't actually have a lot of dance experience before I went to school. So it was a struggle, and that's another story I can talk about later. But I met my daughter's father my freshman year of college, and we were together my freshman year, and then I got pregnant my sophomore year, the end of my sophomore year in the spring. So this was right after my birthday. My birthday just passed, it's in March. And so right after my birthday, I think maybe in April, because around Easter, I think on Easter that year, I was pregnant, but I didn't know yet. So this was like the spring semester of my sophomore year. I get pregnant. Obviously, it was not planned. It was very unexpected. And I'm a dance major. So I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to, you know, finish my degree, or, you know, I was worried about my life completely changing, basically. It was not planned. It was not expected. But, you know, God works in mysterious ways. We all know that. So obviously, you know, I kept the baby, but being a full-time dance major and being pregnant was not easy. So I got pregnant at the end of my sophomore year. So we had like our end of the year banquet. I'm pregnant, like nobody knows yet at this point besides like my closest friends. And obviously I had told my family, and the way I went about that was not good. It was not good. I called my mom, told her over the phone after my doctor's appointment that I like found out or confirmed, I guess, that I was pregnant. And so, yeah, that was not the best way to do that. And I can go into that in more detail later too, but I have lots of stories, you guys, trust me, lots of stories. Don't know how much I'm gonna share. I don't wanna get too, like, I don't wanna get messy on the internet, but I got pregnant. It was very unexpected, scary for me, because going into the summer after my sophomore year, you know, my whole life changed, and I ended up getting engaged to her father. And, you know, basically like I was already sort of living with him at the time, hence how I got pregnant. So I kind of just stayed with him, and the plan was for me to just like have the baby there, us get married. We talked about, because I was from a different state, so we talked about moving back to my home state just because I really obviously like it here. But, you know, ultimately after we had Zaria, we separated when she was 10 months, and I was still in school during all of this. So like I was pregnant when I came back from the summer, all the way the entire fall semester of my junior year, I was pregnant. So I was not allowed to dance. I was not allowed to be, you know, obviously on the dance company anymore. And that was a big part of my scheduling and like my year. In a dance major, not being able to dance was obviously very hard. Now I was a dance pedagogy major, so I still took my pedagogy classes and my teaching, you know, my teaching classes, my anatomy, my business classes, English, all that stuff, like my gen eds. and got straight A's, by the way. Had horrible morning sickness my entire pregnancy. It was a really rough pregnancy. I couldn't dance, and I wasn't used to like exercise outside of just dance, and so I didn't really exercise my entire pregnancy, which was really rough on my body because I'm very skinny and my hips are very small. So all that was shifting and moving my entire pregnancy. It was very painful. I was throwing up the whole time. I was terrified of being a mom. I was not ready. I was not prepared or ready for motherhood at that time, or I didn't think I was, at least. I didn't think I was. Obviously, you know, God's not gonna give me anything I can't handle. I felt compelled to keep the baby and have her, and so obviously I felt somewhat ready, but I definitely just didn't feel ready at that time. I wanted to finish school and everything. I had a plan, you know, and things were not going according to my plan, so that was scary for me. I, you know, get pretty anxious when things don't go according to plan. So I was struggling through the entire pregnancy. Obviously, also, I can't like go out with my friends. I hardly did that much anyway after I got with my daughter's dad. But I felt very cut off from like everyone, like all my friends, even kind of my family, because obviously they were a little bit like caught off guard by this, and the way I told them was not great, and there was just a lot of hurt there. And so there was like very hard time for me, my pregnancy. But I had my daughter during winter break. It actually was like perfect timing. We got all the way through the first semester. Her due date was literally right after my finals. So it's just like, please, like, hang in there until finals, baby, and then you can come out and I can meet you, and I'm so ready to meet you. I was like very excited by that point in time, but I just had to get my finals done. Then she came 5 days after her due date, like right in the middle of winter break. I had maybe 2 weeks with her to like recover, be with her, and then her dad took a paternity leave, so because he had graduated college, he's older, and so he was working, so he just took paternity leave to stay with her while I went back to school. After like 2 weeks, 2 maybe 3 weeks of being home with her, I was back at school, back in my classes, back in obviously not my dance classes, but all my other classes came back in full swing. And I did start my dance classes, but I could not dance full out for the first 6 weeks. So when I got back into it, it was like I had a completely different body. And she was at home with her dad, and so he had to go back to work, and then she had to go to daycare, and it was a lot. My life completely changed. All of a sudden I have a fiance, I have a kid, and you know, I'm not just a normal college student anymore. I'm like not relating to anyone around me, telling their stories about their lives that are, it's so different from what I'm going through. Like they're over here talking about, you know, their jobs and their boyfriends and the party that they just went to and this, that, and auditioning for summer stock, and which is like where you perform at theaters and stuff over the summer, and they're talking about that, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm talking about diapers and baby formula, and like, you know, like it was just, I just felt like I could not relate to anybody. I felt very isolated, very alone, which wasn't a new feeling to me, unfortunately, but it was just another level of that. And it was hard for me. I did not really struggle with postpartum depression or anxiety, which is a little bit surprising, maybe like a little bit, but considering how like depressed and anxious I was in like high school, I was really scared that I was gonna have like really bad postpartum, and that really wasn't the case. My blood pressure went up after I had her, and I think that was partially just due to like panic and just like, my gosh, it was a lot, obviously on childbirth was a lot on my body, but also I think I was like, my gosh, like I'm really a mom now, and I think it kind of like hit me right when she was born. But overall, like my mental health was pretty good after I had Zaria, considering what I was going through and how isolated I was and how anxious I was and scared I was of this whole situation. I think it would have been different if I was, for one, like established in my own career already and not still trying to get a degree. If I was married to someone that I felt safe and secure with, you know, and knew that I was like safe and had a good partnership for that, but I just thought none of that was the case, so I was very scared and anxious. Me and her dad separated. The relationship was very toxic, so we separated, and there was abuse there and all that stuff I won't get into too much on here, so just know that was not good for me. So I left that situation, and so then I was a senior in college and also a single mom. by the age of like 22. And that was, well, really by 21. At 21 I was a single mom, so like that was really scary. But I finished school, I'm proud of that, and now I have been busting my butt. You know, I'm doing what I went to school for. You know, I'm a dance teacher now. I really, my whole life since having Zaria has been about being an example for her and showing her that, like, you know, you should go for your dreams, you should follow your bliss, you should do what makes you happy and never give up on yourself. So, I mean, I've been really trying. I've really been trying to be an example of that. But that's kind of like my whole backstory. That was a lot. There's more little details in there that I might share later, but that's what I'm willing to share right now. But I just wanted to share like my backstory in case anyone like didn't know or wanted to know, or anyone that has subscribed to me that doesn't know my story. And if anyone finds this and can relate to this, you know, comment down below, send me a message, like whatever, add me on Instagram and DM me, like let's talk. If you need anyone to talk to about motherhood, about being a young mom, about being a single mom, if you're in an abusive relationship and you're wondering if it's, you know, what it's like on the other side, if you choose to leave that situation, if you have a child with them, like please reach out to me and we can talk. I love connecting and talking to other mothers, other young moms. I know a lot of moms my age, and I know a lot of them have unfortunately been through very similar situations to me, which is honestly something that needs to be researched. It's sad, but I do want to talk about it if you need anyone to talk about it with. And you know, I think I'm going to talk a little bit more about this and talk a little bit more about how I juggle everything, because now I graduated college, I'm working full-time as a teacher. I am a high school dance teacher and assistant drill team director. And so, you know, I'll talk a little bit more about how I juggle work and being a mom and, you know, her life, because she also has her own little activities now. She's in dance and gymnastics and other types of things. So just juggling all of the things. Let me know if you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to talk about on this subject, and I'll make some more videos about this so we can connect and have a community and people to talk to about our situations. But thank you so much for watching this. Comment down below if you are a mom, a single mom, or anything like that, and let's be friends. Yeah, let's talk some more. Okay, so I'll be back in another video. Let me know what you want to see, and thanks for watching. Bye.